Hello, class. The content I will explain is the installation of the pitch bearing NIST. Let's learn about the pitch bearing installation process. Cleaning agent and a rag to clean the mounting surface of the hub. 2. Installing a lifting tool. Use a set of pitch bearing installation lifting tools to pass through the smooth holes of the pitch disc and the outer ring of the pitch bearing. Use 2 shackles to connect both ends of a sling to the 2 lifting lugs on the pitch bearing lifting tool. The other end of the sling is hung on the main hook of the crane. As shown in Figure 1 and Figure 2 theory, installing the pitch bearing guide rod. Install the pitch bearing guide rod into the threaded hole at the 6 o'clock position of the hub. Refer to Figure 3 and Figure 4. Installing the pitch bearing, it takes the guide rod into the smooth hole at the 6 o'clock position of the pitch bearing inner ring. Then align the remaining smooth holes on the inner ring of the pitch bearing with the corresponding threaded holes on the hub. Secure the pitch bearing to the hub. Ink solid lubricant to the threaded engagement surface of the bolts and the contact surface between the bolt head and the flat washer. Remove the pitch bearing installation lifting tool. Reserving fixing bolts for the pitch control cabinet. The fixing methods of pitch control cabinets produced by different manufacturers vary. Therefore, the positions of the reserve bolt holes for the pitch control cabinet also differ. Only the reserved positions for the Fricon pitch control cabinet are introduced. The Fricon pitch control cabinet reserves 5 fixing bolts, which are not tightened temporarily. The bolt at the 12 o'clock position of the pitch bearing is taken as the first reference. The 8th and 9th bolts on the left and right sides are reserved. 6. Relative positions of the soft zone and plug when installing the pitch bearing. The positions of the soft zone and plug of the pitch bearing must be located at the specified position. Depending on the pitch bearing manufacturer, the specific classifications may vary. Here, only one type is introduced, 2 plugs on the outer ring and 1 S-soft zone on the inner ring. Installation position of the inner ring S-soft zone. Stand outside the hub facing the hub. The threaded hole at the 6 o'clock position of the hub for fixing the bearing is designated as the first hole. Count counterclockwise to the 8th and 9th holes. The space between them is the position of the inner ring S-soft zone of the pitch bearing. Relative position of the outer ring plug and the pitch disc. When installing the pitch disc, the second plug of the outer ring of the pitch bearing is located approximately 180 degrees opposite the pitch disc. Secure the pitch bearing. 7. Fixing the bolts. The bolts should be tightened in a crisscross symmetrical pattern, done in 3 stages. Before applying torque, adjust the air compressor's pressure to the specified value. Based on the pressure-to-torque conversion chart on the pneumatic wrench, adjust the pneumatic unit pressure of the wrench to the corresponding value. After adjusting the pressure, test the torque on one bolt. Set the torque wrench to the corresponding torque value to verify the torque applied by the pneumatic wrench. When using the pneumatic wrench, protect the reaction arm to avoid damaging the anti-corrosion coating of the pitch bearing and bolts. Alternatively, a hydraulic wrench or electric wrench with the corresponding torque value may be used. 8. Inspection. Adjust the torque wrench to the standard torque value. Check each tightened bolt in sequence. If any are not up to standard, continue applying torque until they meet the standard. 9. Post-processing of bolt torque. After inspection, use a red paint pen to make anti-loosening marks on the hex head of the bolts and the contact surface of the connecting parts. Apply MD hard film anti-rust oil to the exposed part of the hex head of the tightened bolts. Ensure the surface is clean. Then complete the bearing installation. Remove the dust cap from the grease fitting. Check and tighten the grease fitting and drain plug. Mark them with a red paint pen. Replace the dust cap on the grease fitting. 10. Precautions for this installation process. Only after all, connecting bolts between the pitch bearing and the hub are inserted and tightened. Should the pitch bearing installation lifting tool be removed, the bolts must be tightened in a symmetrical sequence. 9 bolts. For installing the pitch control cabinet bracket are not tightened temporarily and no torque is applied. These free after installing the pitch bearing, use a yellow marker to make anti-loosening marks on the hex head of the bolts. Then apply MD hard film anti-rust oil leaper. Replenish grease into the pitch bearing through each grease fitting until full PFEV. Install oil collection bottles on the oil outlets of the pitch bearing, placing one on every other outlet. That concludes the pitch bearing installation process. I hope everyone can master these operational steps. Thank you.